What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Jerry Alicia.
And your girl, Alisha J. What's up?
Hey.
Hey.
Y'all, it's been like a whole year.
It has. Has it?
It's just about.
Wow.
Just about a year since we have done an episode.
My bad.
Our bad. Our bad. As you can see, y'all can see us now.
Yeah.
In the same place at the same time.
Place.
So there's that.
Boom.
So what has been going on in the past year? Like, what have you been doing in the past year?
Do you really want to ask that question? Listen, so much, ma'am, girl. Listen, what you been doing for the past year? How about that?
So the past year, I have kept up with womb prep, of course. We still do our monthly prayer and worship. I started another podcast called Dear Christian Black Girl, soft plug, with my girls Takesha Morris and Tiffany Dillard. Mm-hmm. I photographed the whole wedding for my god sister. That was different because that was not in my plans. But, you know, the Lord told me to do it, and I did it. And I don't know how I feel about it. I still don't know how I feel about it.
Okay. Well, you know, wait until she gives you whatever, you know, feedback, and then you can feel some type of way.
No, see, I don't know how I feel about it because I did good, and I know I did good, but photography wasn't on my list. You know, I had a list of stuff that I was doing.
I'm done with you, Sherry. I'm so done.
And photography was not on the list.
It wasn't, and I'm just saying, I said you did good. She did good. I was there with her, so I was doing the makeup.
So that's been my year.
My year.
Yeah, your year.
What did I do? So I relaunched Shop Alisha J.
Yes.
Hard plug. As my own brand. So, you know, the previous year in 2021, it was a part of my friend's Golden's website, and I just did a collection. So I actually launched my own website this year, past year. I wrote a book.
Yeah.
So I finished writing a book.
You finished writing a book because you started last year.
I started it in 2021.
Did you really?
I did.
Now that I didn't know.
Yes, so I finished it in actually 2023. So I just finished it. Yeah.
2 years. 2
years. Almost 2 years. Okay. I started in August of 2021.
Oh, so about a year and a half then.
Yes.
Okay.
Unmarried Without Children. Hard plug.
Yes, and we're definitely going to talk about that on tonight.
Let me see. What else did I do?
You started makeup again.
I started makeup again, sort of. Probably about to go back into retirement
I give
again.
Up. you are not telling me that you're about to go back into retirement. I give up.
Listen, because your girl is starting a whole new business, okay?
What, you're starting another business?
Yes, that's why I'm like,
what?
Let me go into retirement because your girl be out here busy. Listen, so I'm starting a whole new business for corporate. That's like the corporate side of things. So basically, I'm going to be the bridge that is that gap between when an employee is onboarded from at HR and trained in HR to when they actually start their position. And so I'm coming in to document the position and all the tasks that particular position is responsible for. So that is my job. Yeah. So y'all will see that. It's Alisha J Consulting. Just got my license from the state today. I'm officially an LLC. Boom. And yes. Your girl is tired. Y'all pray for her because if God download one more thing, I don't know. I just don't know.
You'll get it downloaded like a week, right?
You know it.
It's like I
Jesus.
get it 7 days.
That's why I was trying to listen to the little podcast thing tonight, talk about how I can get some money from business credit because y'all killing a girl out here. Okay. Let me see. And I think that's it.
Okay.
That's major. Like everything else.
I did. For me, I did get a regular job, but I only lasted 3 weeks. I was like,
I was just about to say, I was like, when you get a regular job? Because I know my girl.
Literally,
3
I had a job for 3 weeks.
Jerry.
So here, what had happened was I got a
Lord.
work from home job, and it was what it was, right? It's work from home. It's
work from
call
home.
center. It is what it is. I'm used to call centers, so
Okay.
that part didn't really bother me.
But
What bothered me
Here
was
we go.
when I got an email. No, when I looked at my schedule for 1 week, and I was working 6 days straight. No, what?
ma'am,
Sir. And so I text my team lead. I'm like, hey, and then they switched me to a different team. And so my schedule for one team was different than the other team. And I was like, hey, y'all told me my schedule was going to be the same. And my schedule was okay. They was like, oh, well, we can't guarantee. That was the first red flag. Then with the whole, 6 days straight, they was like, oh, because the way our payroll is set up, your payroll has nothing to do with me and my 2 off days for the week.
that's it. Was that not discussed in the interview?
It was not.
Oh, see, that's problematic. That's
It was
just straight
not.
problems.
That's why I was like,
That
yeah, no.
is
So
problems.
when they told me that I was gonna have to work 6 days straight, it was interviewing with Womb Prep's monthly prayer and worship. It was interfering with Dear Christian Black Girl recording.
Oh,
I was like,
no.
yeah, no, I can't do this. So on that 3rd week, I politely sent that email. Thank you for letting me know about the schedule. Unfortunately, I will not be continuing with this job. And I promptly sent them people their computers.
She didn't waste no time.
I
Sis
did
was
not.
like, bye.
Because
Bye,
I was
Felicia.
because when I applied for a job, I said, okay, God, I still have to do what you called me to do.
Right.
I
Absolutely.
and I told God, I was like, I'm not going to put that to the side for some money. I'm just not, no. Because who does that? Not me. I can't do it. Because then I
people
would have
do.
been in trouble.
But Jerry's saying, yeah, you would
And
have
so,
been
yeah, I
in bigger
lasted
trouble.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Wow.
3 whole weeks.
Well, no judgment here. Do what you got to do, sis.
Yeah. So I was like, no. And then God was like, I never told you to get that job. I was like, well, dang. That part.
Well, he said what he said.
That part.
That part.
So, yeah. So that's what's been going on with us for the last year or so. But y'all, it is National Infertility Awareness Week.
It
We are
is.
still commemorating and just not celebrating, but remembering and honoring this week. So when I looked at National Infertility Awareness Week.org, NIAW.org, I found out that theme for this year was Tell Your Story.
Oh.
And I was like, this is perfect for our comeback episode.
Hey.
So, as Alisha told y'all, sis wrote a book.
I did.
And it's called Unmarried Without Children. And so, y'all, today is going to be an interview. I'm going to be interviewing Miss Alisha J about this Unmarried Without Children because I got questions.
Yes. Okay. What questions do you have, sis?
So,
Because you got your book. Did you read it?
I didn't get a book.
You didn't get a book? I thought you got a
No.
book. Okay.
I just got the copy that you sent me beforehand.
So you know
Yes,
most of it.
so I know a lot.
Because
of
she
it.
wrote the forward.
I did write
Jerry
the
wrote
forward, and I did the book cover.
she did do the book
I did
cover.
both. Y'all,
Yes.
Alicia put me to work.
I did.
She put
I
me to
sure
work.
did.
But so first, just tell us how this came about.
All right. So let's see. God will always do things that you don't think you will ever do. In a million years, I never thought I'd be like, yeah, I got a book and my whole face is on the cover and all my business is in the book. Like I never in 1,000 years would think I was going to write a book. So let me flash back to about 2018, 2019.
Okay.
One of my really good friends, she texted me and she said, I had a dream that you're going to write a book. So at the time, I thought that it was going to be a book of prayers for makeup artists, like to keep us,
You should still write that though.
to keep us.
The way you skirted past that. Wait a minute. How are you just gonna skirt past that like that?
Because
what is happening?
I need a minute. You wrote a book, so you need a minute to recover.
Listen.
In fact, you wrote more than one book.
No, I haven't, and there's a reason for that.
Exactly. So why you sit here telling me I need to write my book, and I know God gave you another book that you need to write.
I do, and I need to write it by the end of this year, and I haven't started.
See? Okay, so don't come over here with the shade.
My bad.
Talking about I need to write these prayers in this prayer book. when I'm still trying to recover and still trying to sell this one. Let me get some good money on this one first, okay?
Right.
Because the investment in writing a book, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, the investment is steep. So for those of y'all that don't know, the investment for writing a book is roughly $2,000.
That's on
that's
the real cheap
deal.
side.
And that's
real,
if you get a deal.
Real cheap, because I paid a professional editor. But we'll get into that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about the book writing process.
2018.
I feel like you finna get mad.
No, I'm not going to get mad, but I'm going to get real.
Okay.
All right, so 2018, we had my friend said the book, and I was like, okay, I'm going to write this book of prayers. And I was like, okay, whatever. So never started the book, never started trying to write book, whatever. 2019 goes by, 2020 goes by, 2021, it was like I kept getting this push to write this book. And so I had interviewed, and I cannot remember her name. My gosh. I had interviewed someone on my radio show, and I followed her. And I think, Jerry, you follow her too, because she has the young lady with the HIV. Yeah, you know her because she's a part of Nikisa. Yes. Yeah. So Nikki.
And I want y'all to know we're not putting Nikisa's business out
right,
there like that.
She
tells that. So I don't want y'all to be looking like that. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, no.
She's in a commercial.
Yeah, she talks about it publicly.
TV,
so that's why we can say her name
yes.
like that.
And she brought her book to my radio show talking about her journey having HIV and then also trying to conceive. So it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I followed her, and then she was a part of this group called Beyond the Book. And so the Beyond the Book
with Chanel Martin.
Yes, with Chanel. Yeah. Yes. And so I joined the Beyond the Book like boot camp. It's like this 7-day boot camp, and you write a book. Like you just sit there and you write. You type
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "Well, just tell your story." So I was like, "All right, I'm telling my story about me being unmarried without children." So I had already been tossing around this idea in like 2020. Mm-hmm. It was originally going to be marriage and motherhood, my journey to marriage and motherhood. And some other names came up because you go through like this process of figuring out what the name is.
Yeah, that's always fun.
All that good stuff. So we landed on Unmarried Without Children. I was like, all right, God, this is what we doing. So I wrote this manuscript.
Wait, you told God that's what y'all was doing?
No, I mean, I guess I did.
Okay.
I mean, but God didn't come back and say no. Like, he wasn't like, this ain't it.
No, so yeah.
So here we are. So I will say this. I wish I had done more research before starting to write a book on how to like go about really publishing it. Because Beyond the Book also offers a package to edit and publish. Mm-hmm. And so at the time I was like, I ain't about to spend that money, because it was like $5,000 to upgrade to like the package, like the real good package where you get on Amazon and all this other stuff. Yeah. So it was going to be like all the good, the nuts and bolts. Well, technically I had the money.
You didn't want to spend it
right.
on that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
like
the book sat. The manuscript sat. And so then I started picking it back up because I was like, okay, I need to finish this. Like, it's like the Holy Spirit was like, you need to let this book go. Like, you need to give birth to this book. This book needs to be published. And I'm like, oh my gosh, where are we going to get this money? You keep saying publish the book. And so instead of publishing the book, guess what I did?
What'd you do?
I started a clothing line.
Wait a minute. You're not finna skirt past that? Like, you didn't just say, instead of starting a book, you started a clothing? That's not what was supposed to happen.
I know. But in my mind, I was going to use the money from the clothing line to finish the book.
Did you do that?
Well, some of it did. And then bills started happening because, I'm out here, I'm unmarried. So, bills be billing. They then I got in a car accident, had to buy a whole new car. Like, it was, I forgot. Yes, I was in a car accident in July 2022. My car is totaled. Had to buy a whole new car. Thank God for insurance, but still, now I got a new bill, right? So, so I was like, and I had an editor. So, because when I did my original manuscript, I sent it out to my family. Mm-hmm. I did not reread it before I sent it out.
Okay.
And so there was a lot of things in there that I probably didn't want people to know.
Oh.
And so my mama read it. And she had a few words for me.
Oh,
So we had.
Mama having words. For
I
you.
mean, you know, she gave me her honest opinion, and you know, then it was a discussion between me and my parents, and my dad never read it because he was like, "Your mama said I shouldn't read it."
Not your mama said.
Yes, so. Which is fine. My parents are pastors, and what I had in the original manuscript, I probably should not have allowed them to read, because I did not go back and reread it before I sent it out to them.
Oh Lord!
My brother was like, "Oh well, I thought you was just living your best life." So, so. Needless to say, I was like, oh, I need an editor because, like, this is real janky. So I sent it to the editor. I find an editor. She's an amazing editor, amazing at what she does. She's also unmarried without children. So this, like, lined up perfectly with her. Miss Etheline, she did a great job with me. And I can't even think of her. Speak Right. I think it's Speak Right something. Speak Right Plays. Speak Right something.
Okay.
So she did you know what? It's in here. Speak Right Play. I did that right. All right. Yay. Okay. Speak Right Play. So she edited it. And then I got in contact with Tiffany at New Voice. Didn't realize that Tiffany also edits. So basically, I almost was paying for 2 editors at the same time.
Alisha J.
Shh. So Tiffany worked with me, and she was like, I'll just do the publishing. You just send me the final copy. So I was like, okay, cool. So at the end of everything, I could have just gone with Beyond the Book because I end up spending the same amount of money I spent had I just went with Beyond the Book.
So you go through all of this with the editing, and
Yes.
you basically spend the same amount of money.
Yes.
Wow.
And yeah. So note to self and to anybody out there, if you are a part of like something like Beyond the Book or any kind of writing community, just go with their package. If you're going to do self-publishing, I like New Voice. They're a great publishing company. Shout out to Tiffany.
Yes,
Dillard.
Tiffany.
Shout out to Etheline with Speak Right Play as the editor. You can also pitch your book to publishing companies. Now, me, myself, and I was like, I don't want to wait to see if somebody gonna pick it up. I doubted myself that somebody would pick it up. So that's why I didn't go that route. But there is that route. But people don't understand when you're writing a book, you know, you see in your mind, you're like, okay, type, looking cute, type, and done.
It's not how it works.
So not like that
No.
at all. Okay, let me tell you, it is type. I don't feel like typing today. I don't feel like typing tomorrow. I feel uninspired. Life is life-in. Ooh, monkey wrench. Oh, we ain't got no money. We ain't got no money. Okay.
The fact that you just busted out in a song, what is happening?
Listen, because this
What's
is the truth.
happening?
I'm telling y'all the truth. And then you're like, oh, type. Ooh, type. And then you're like, type. 4 o'clock in the morning. Type.
And then nothing.
Nothing. 6 months later, nothing.
Nothing at all.
And then it's like, oh my gosh, I got to release this book. I'm just like sitting on this book. God told me to write this book. And you're like, nobody's going to want to buy it. Nobody's going to read it.
I am cracking up.
Like all the things, right? And then you're like self-loathing, you're self-doubting, you're like,
the whole thing.
It's a whole thing. And you're like crying, you're like mad because I'm like, I got to finish this book. It's like you're grieving the book. Like, you go through all the changes of writing the book, and it's just kind of like it's draining, and then you get to the finishing line. It's almost like senioritis, right? Like you're like, I'm finishing this book. And I, like the last few edits, I was like, if my editor comes back to me one more time,
Not one more time.
I'm like, I thought I was done with the book. And then when you reread it and you're like, crap. There's an error on page 525. I don't have that many pages, so don't worry. But there's an error on 525, so you got to send it back and say, okay, let's fix this. How does this change the book? How does this change the context? Like all those things. And then that's just editing. Then you get to the publisher. Then you got to say, okay, well, this word is incorrect. This word is right. This is leaking on this side. Listen, this is not the final. Like I have 2 other copies of this book because something was wrong. The first time something was wrong with the spelling on the back, so I had to send it back. Then it was still wrong, and then this was wrong, and I had to send it back. So
that was a lot.
It's a lot. It's like the little details. Cause I'm the type of person, when I read a book and I see like one little thing that's wrong, I'm like, oh God, nope, like we're sending that back. So this is why when I say writing book is not for the faint of heart. Just like going natural ain't for the faint of heart.
Cause listen.
Just like being an entrepreneur is not for the faint of heart. Cause listen. Prepare yourself mentally.
It's a whole thing.
And I'm not even talking about the spiritual warfare that comes with it either. Like we ain't even gotten to that.
So can I tell you, like, I don't know who watching this is a writer. But just prepare yourself for the spiritual warfare, because it's happening. It's going to happen. Because especially if you're writing a book, like your story, or like if you've been through something like deep, and the enemy doesn't want the world to know that. Oh, it's on.
It's on like popcorn.
It's on.
Listen, Chanel said it in the community. She said it's gonna happen, and I was like, no, my life is flowers and sunshine. Child, let me tell you, when I say the enemy came and wrecked my situations, period.
Oh my God,
he wrecked it. Let me tell you, I told you I got in a car accident, had to buy a new car. The guy I was dating, that whole situation was a hot mess. Talk about that. Listen. Jerry know. Yes, Jerry know.
That was a bit much.
It was a lot going on with that. All right. I pray he's doing well. I'm not the type of person that's like, I pray he's doing well with his life. But it was a mess between us. It was just a whole lot. So, and then I'm not even talking about the stuff once everything got released. Like once the book got birthed, it's still spiritual warfare. You got to be on your knees. You got to be talking to God every day, because
absolutely
this is no joke. It is a lot, especially like Jerry said, when you are put on assignment to help somebody be free.
Yes.
So yes,
it's a lot. That spiritual warfare, it's no joke.
It's no joke.
It's no joke.
No joke. So y'all be ready. If you writing a book, just be ready. Be ready and know that it's coming. It is coming 110%.
Yes. And so let's get into this book, Unmarried Without Children. So I got a confession. Mm-hmm. When I heard the name, I was like, oh, that's different. Mm-hmm. Yes. That was my first response. I was like, that's different. Mm-hmm. But then I was like, I know Alisha is a praying woman, so I'm pretty sure she probably prayed about this.
I did.
So I'm going to let it slide because I know her. But if you were a client, I'd be like, ma'am, can we reword this?
Why? What made you? Because
I don't know.
I'm curious.
Like I guess it's the unmarried part.
Okay.
I guess.
And you're not the first person to say that, because
really?
Most people are like, why didn't you just say single? And so for me, single.
Well, that could be context though.
Right. Single to me means that you're the only one. Like you're by yourself. It's just one. But if you're unmarried, that means you have the potential to be married. You're just not married.
That's true.
But you're not by yourself.
See, I would have preferred the first title that you said earlier, the
Journey to Marriage and Motherhood.
I like that title better.
But that's my subtitle, Journey to Marriage and Motherhood.
See, that should have been in my head when I first saw it. I was like, oh, that could have been switched.
No. But see, but I'm having a conversation with you about Unmarried Without Children, right?
Yes.
Journey to Marriage and Motherhood. You know.
But it's not my book, so it really don't matter. You know. That part. Okay, so in this book, you talk about being unmarried and without children. you talk about how marriage has always been your goal.
Yes.
See, I was the opposite. I told baby daddy that I wasn't marrying him. He asked me, and I told him no. And we got to this really big argument about it because he felt like I didn't love him. And it wasn't that I didn't love him. I just liked me better, number one. And at that time, number two, we were literally arguing every day over stupid stuff. But the way me and baby daddy are set up, our arguments last for 3 hours.
Oh, that's a long time.
Because we're being petty.
Why? You need to let it go. I hope y'all.
Well, we do that. Yes, we don't. Okay. We actually don't argue anymore. Well, like we have discussions about things, but we don't do the whole argue. But back then, child, we would go toe for toe. You say this, I'm gonna say something. You say something, I'm gonna say something worse. You say something worse, I'm gonna say something even worse. Then it goes to the FU and all that.
Listen, y'all was fighting.
We was. So listen. One day we were at a hotel, and he said something and pissed me off so bad. I threw my ring at him. I did. I threw it.
And then what happened?
We got to arguing again. Oh, so, yeah, the first time he asked me to marry him,
you were like, no.
I was just like, I love you and I do want to be with you, but no.
But no. I'm good.
But no. But you were the opposite. Yes. You really wanted to be a wife. So tell me about that.
Listen, I wanted to be a wife so bad. I got married in kindergarten on the playground to this little boy, the little chocolate boy with some curly hair. He was cute too.
Oh my God.
His name was MC. That's what we call him. That's what I said in the book. MC. And we got married on the little playground. And then, after that, I don't know. I guess we got divorced because I ain't see him after that.
What?
What? Yeah, I always wanted to be married with kids, even in, I think it was the 4th grade, me and a couple of other girls used to pretend that we were pregnant in the 4th grade. And we used to touch each other's stomach and be like, girl, you feel the baby? You feel the baby? Kick it, literally sitting in class.
Let me find out.
Yes, in the back of the class.
What?
Talking about, oh, yes, I felt that. Yes, look at your belly getting so big. Yes, we used to do that.
Can we give it up for the imagination,
Imagination.
Can we just give a round of applause for the imagination? Because y'all really acted that thing out.
We did. So, but I think it was me trying to fill a void, because my mother passed away when I was 6.
Yeah. And
so I never. There was something that was missing, and so I felt like marriage would fill that void.
Okay.
And then I also grew up with, majority of my family members were married. My aunts and uncles were married, have been married for years. We have very few divorces in my family, as far as my aunts and my uncles. Majority of the marriages, the people who are not married at this point, is because their spouse has passed on.
Yeah.
But again, we don't have that many divorces, so we grew up with that. And we grew up, our grandparents were married for 50 plus years, so I grew up with these type of examples. And so for me, it was important for me to also follow that example of being married. And I was like, look, I also want a husband, so I ain't got to work, right?
Wait, not so you don't have to work.
Right. I don't want to work. But then as I got older, I realized I can't sit still. Yes. I got to work. I have been unemployed several times for several different reasons. And so every time I'm unemployed, I'm always still hustling. I'm still trying to figure out what's going on. What are we doing? What are we doing? Right? So, especially since I know I got to pay bills, but
yes, you do have to pay the bills.
Yes, but I still want companionship. I still want to be married, because the other day I was cleaning something. I was like, Lord, I need help.
No. Oh no.
I'm trying to reach the thing at the top of the cabinet, and I'm like, I don't want to have to go get the stool and the step stool and get it. So You know, those type of things. I'm not one of those women who are like, I'm independent, I don't need no man. I'm like, heck yeah, I need a man. Like, I don't know what rock these women are living under where they don't need a man. So y'all go forth and be great, but I'm not the one. I'm the one who's like, yes, Lord, give me a man, please.
But the right man.
The right man.
The right man.
Because I've had a few of the wrong ones.
Yes.
But I want the right one.
And so in your book, I saw that you wanted to be married by 25,
mm-hmm.
first baby at 27, and then twins by 30.
30, and
you
done.
Literally had it all mapped out.
All mapped out. My dress was picked out. The colors was picked out. Bridesmaids dresses was picked out. Had all the things.
Wow.
Talk about vision board before vision board was a thing.
You had it on lock. You had it on
lock. I knew who my bridesmaids was going. Like, I had maid of honor, matron of honor, all of this.
Oh, you had your whole list.
Oh, I had everything.
Okay.
Yes, I even had the guest list written out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had all this picked out.
All of
you
it.
knew exactly
what my
you
invitations
wanted.
were gonna look like.
Oh, you had it, because I didn't know none of that.
All of it.
Till like a few months before I said I do.
No. See, I've been to many of weddings. In fact, we had a marriage and family class in my high school, and we had to plan our wedding.
Your high school had a marriage and family?
Yes,
I have
marriage and
never
family
heard
class.
of that.
Well, I went to a Christian school.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Because I was like, wait, what did they do that at?
Yeah, and they paired us, girl and boy, and my pair, I was paired with Bysel McWilliams. What's up, Bysel? And we had to plan a wedding. I planned the wedding. He planned the honeymoon. We had a budget. Like, it was legit. Like, we had to go
y'all how to do it for real, the right way.
Yeah,
because most people don't have a budget.
Oh, we had a budget, and we had to go talk to like real people.
Really?
Yeah, like I had to get on the phone and be like, "Hey, can you sing at my pretend wedding? And if you do, how much does it cost?" Like, like it was seriously like, I wonder if I still have that book. Like, we had to make it like a presentation. It was like a little notebook, like an album. And I had everything written out, like the guest list, his guest list.
Interesting.
Like, and we had to sit down and talk about, I forgot about this. This is so crazy. We had to sit down and talk about how, who we had to leave off the guest list. Like, it was serious.
Wow.
It was a serious project. Thank you, Mr. Hunsberger, for teaching that class.
Yeah, so you had it all mapped out. You knew exactly what you wanted. You knew how many kids. You knew what age you wanted to be. All of that. And so when that didn't happen, let's talk about the temper tantrums, the adult temper tantrums, because we don't talk. Y'all, can we normalize accepting that adults have temper tantrums with God? Can we please normalize that? Because we don't talk about that.
We don't. And I feel like it's almost like where people are afraid to say, hey, I had a moment with God. I got mad at God. I was upset. And I was upset because I was like, I'm doing all the things, God. I'm serving your people. I'm at church 5 to 6 days out of the week.
That is wild.
It is wild. Y'all, please don't be
listen,
like
y'all.
me.
We're going to pause right here, because if you... And we're not saying don't go to church. We're not saying don't serve at church.
Serve at church. But you don't need
make
to be
church
there
your whole
day.
entire life.
Listen.
Because your husband might not be at church. He might be in church, but not at church.
Or at your church.
So if church is the only place you go, how is that going to work? I got questions. And so, yeah. So tell us about those temper tantrums. Like,
I felt
what were
entitled.
You feeling?
I felt entitled, which is not how I should have felt.
Okay.
I felt entitled because I was doing all the things that I thought I should do, and what we've been taught in the church. Like, if you do all the things, then your husband shows up, right? You do the praying, you do the fasting, you serve, you go to choir practice, you go to dance practice, you help your community. Like, you do all the good things, and it's like, well, I'm doing all the good things, yet I'm still not getting what I'm asking God for. Like, I'm praying to God. I've fasted. I can't tell you how many times I've fasted and prayed for a husband. Like, I cannot tell you how many times I've joined communities where we fasted and prayed for a husband. I've said the prayers. I've written them out. Like, I got notebooks of notes on how to attract your spouse. And still, here we are.
Okay.
Here we are.
And so you're doing the work. You have a plan in your head. Plan doesn't go according to plan.
I told God I was mad. I was like, yo, dude. I was like,
yo, dude.
Like, yes, like, this is not fair. Like, this ain't fair. Like, I'm going to everybody else's wedding. I'm paying all this money for these dresses. I'm like, when is it going to be my time? Like, I was mad. I was big mad because I was like, all I ever wanted was to be married and have kids. And this is the only thing I cannot accomplish. Like, I can write a book. I can start a business. I can do
all the other stuff.
I can do all the other things. But the two things that I've been trying to do for the past 30 plus years, it's not working.
It's not working.
I'm going on.
And I don't know why it's not working, guys.
I'm going on the dates. I'm taking the classes. I'm going to therapy. I'm doing all the things, right?
So, like, were you dating with intention or were you just dating to date?
I was, now, there was a period of time I was just dating to date. Nah. Listen, your girl was set up. I had 3 dates in the day. Listen, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
You're not just finna go past that. Like, you didn't say you had 3 dates in one day.
Yes. Meet one for breakfast.
How bold do you have to be?
You just kept different clothes in your car. You just, in the morning time, you would have something regular. Lunch, you might put on a blazer. Dinner, you put on some heels. Boom. You just make sure you had your makeup and stuff in the car. That's how you did it.
See, that would not work for me because the way my mind is set up, I'd be calling one dude the wrong name.
Listen, I've done that. I have done that.
Oh, my God.
Text the wrong person.
No.
Listen. Now, mind you, I had everybody on my, like, anybody that I met on any app, they had my Google Voice number. Like, you had to graduate to my real number.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Yeah. It was a graduation. You could not just get my real number and then jump to, like, that's not how we start. You start on Google Voice.
Okay.
Because I don't know you.
Okay.
And you can't, you look up Google Voice number, it was linked to my business. So you're gonna find my business. You're not gonna find me.
Okay, so you hit the man with the Google Voice number, and you got caught up a few times with the wrong name.
With the wrong names. Somebody contacted me 2 years later and was like, "Were you at the gym?" I was like, "Who is this?" And he was like, "You don't remember me, dude? It's been 2 years." Like,
number one, it's been 2 years.
2 years.
Number two,
you got the Google Voice number, right? Like, and you got the Google Voice number, so I don't know.
I don't know which one you are, sir.
Idea. He was so offended, and I was like, "Why you offended, dude? Like, bruh." So I don't know.
It's freaking hilarious. Yeah. So you did.
So
you dated to date, but then you started dating with intention.
I did, and I've even tried like this elite dating app, like more recently, where this was like 2021. It was called The League or something, and so basically you either were gonna pay like a whole bunch of money to get matched up to like be able. It was more expensive than eHarmony, and so
I don't. So me and baby daddy been together since I was 19.
So eHarmony is a paid subscription if you want to see everybody's the profile and talk to them and whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So The League was like a more elite dating app, and so basically you either paid for it or you got other people to sign up for the app, and that allowed you a spot to be able to then chat with these guys. Oh. So I never got the spot. I just got off the app. I was almost going to pay about $1,500, $2,000 to a matchmaker. Yeah. I didn't stutter. I said $1,500 to $2,000 for a matchmaker. That's what I said.
So, baby daddy, if you looking at this, can I say I thank God for you?
That's
because
what I keep telling people. I'm like, look, if you was married, stayed married. And I said it like I said. I said what I said. If you is married, stayed married, and try to work that thing out. Now, if somebody's being abusive, then leave.
Then, yeah, that's different.
We do not condone that.
Abuse.
And then and that's all kind of abuse: verbal, mental, physical, emotional. Like, you should not stay in an abusive situation.
Absolutely not.
Ever. Okay. Even sexual abuse. Like, if your man cheating on you, your man cheating. Because we talking to girls.
Can we talk about that? Because a lot of people don't think that that's sexual abuse.
That's sexual abuse. Because
if you're married to a habitual cheater,
that's sexual abuse, because your husband can come home and bring you an STD.
All types of stuff.
That's sexual abuse. That is sexual abuse.
It is.
Period.
So you heard it here.
Done. So yeah. Where was I going with this? Yeah, $2,000 for the app. So Jesus. The salesperson is telling me all of that, and then we match you up, and you get this elite person, but there's no guarantee that y'all are gonna get married. I said, for $2,000,
I need a guarantee.
I need a guarantee. And they were like, we can't guarantee that. And I said, well, you ain't gonna get my $2,000. Then I signed up for a reality show.
Wait, what?
I sure did. Listen.
Okay. That's news.
Spilling old tea. It was Kevin on Stage's wife, Mrs. Kev on Stage. Uh-huh. She was supposedly doing a reality matchmaking show, and it never came to pass. So my audition video is somewhere. So Miss Kev on Stage, what happened to that, ma'am? I never got a confirmation email.
We got questions.
I got questions. Where my video at, boo? But that's it. And then I just was one day I was I'm tired. Don't want to be in the apps.
You should have been.
I deleted the apps. Stopped trying to try. And then I thought I met this wonderful guy. And he ended up, because I thought the prophecies that were surrounding him were what God was bringing to me, right? Mm-hmm. So, it had been prophesied to me he was going to be somebody, and I'm being very transparent, from my past that I wouldn't remember. He would have a son. And so this particular guy had all the things. And so I just stopped dating other men, because I was like, this is the one. And that relationship was challenging. And
that's a good word for it. And I can say that because I know the situation.
She knows the situation. And I'm saying that because I'm protecting him, because I know that this is a public forum, and I still wish him the best, and he's still a man of God. But even being a man of God and me being a woman of God, sometimes it still doesn't work. Yeah. And I don't want people to get, and my therapist told me this. She said, don't get caught up in the prophecy and not look at the integrity and character of a person that you're dating.
That's good.
Because that's what happened. And when he was presented to me, when we first started dating, everything was perfect. He had a job, he he loved the Lord, blah, blah, blah. And then as the layers were being taken off, it was this is not what I signed up for.
It's not what I want.
But I was so excited, and I was such in love's bubble that I rushed everything. Everything was so quick. And even in the back of my mind, I was this is too good to be true. I'm literally sitting in my bed this is too good to be true. Now, was I perfect? I'm never going to be perfect. So, no, I didn't do everything correct. And I'm quite sure I didn't do a lot of things I'm quite sure I did a lot of things he didn't like. And, I'm not sure what story he's telling about me. I don't care at this point. It is what it is. We are here where we are. But at the end of the day, it ended up being something so toxic that I just couldn't. And I had dated somebody previous to him where it was almost like I dated the same person, but with different bodies, if that makes sense. Yeah. So the guy before him also, so they both broke up with me 3 times. We broke up and got back together 3 times. Oh. And so I have a 3-time limit. That's it. Because I know I'm a catch. I know I'm a prize.
Absolutely.
So if you can't see that you can't get yourself together to be enough for me, then I'm not.
We don't
After
need
the
to do
third
this.
time, I'm done. And
Yeah.
I can't get back to that place of loving you like I once had. You know,
Yeah.
the first couple of times I'm like, okay, we can still try to make this work. We can still be friends. After that, I'm like, I don't even want to be a friend. Like
I'm good.
I'm done.
I'm good.
I'm done. And, you know, me trying to be nice, I'm like, yeah, let's just be friends. And then at some point, I'm just like, okay, I'm done. So then, you know, I was like, okay, I had met this other guy, and I thought he was really cool. We tried.
You met a guy after this?
Yeah. Well, during the time when I was dating this guy, I met this other guy on somewhere. I won't say where because then it will say, it will give away who it is. And I tried. I really did. Like, we tried. But I think I still wasn't in a place of being ready. I think I was still in that rebound space.
Yeah.
And so I was still bringing in like those little things that triggered me.
The residue from the other stuff. Yeah.
And then he was very inconsistent. Like, he would pop up.
No, sir.
And then disappear for months. And then pop up like he had disappeared for months. And I'm like, bruh, you know, I could be married. You've been away that long. Like, that's how long it's been. So we just couldn't get it together. So, I mean, he's a cool dude. Shout out to you. You know who you are. And, you know, it's just been very interesting moving forward from that. And so, again, I want to say, you know, the dating pool has pee in it, but, you know, there's chlorine.
There's chlorine for that.
So there's chlorine in the pool. So what I'm saying is not all dating situations are going to be bad. And what I've learned is to just learn from those relationships and grow.
Absolutely.
And mature. So, yeah. Okay,
so things are not going the way you thought they would. Mm-hmm. The dating pool has pee in it. Mm-hmm.
We got chlorine.
So even with the whole dating pool with the bad pee in it, what is your fertility journey like through all of this? Like, what's going on with your body through all of this?
So hot flashes are from the devil.
Okay, yeah,
that's it. They are straight from the pit of hell.
So, like, when did you have your first hot flash?
I used to have hot flashes during my cycle, so that was normal, but it wasn't like nothing severe. Like, it was something I could, you know, turn on some air and be like, you know, 5 minutes later, I'm good. Not knowing and realizing that this was a precursor to perimenopause.
Now, I got a question. What's the difference between premenopause and peri?
Well, perimenopause is premenopause. It's the same thing.
I didn't know. Okay.
So perimenopause is basically like your cycles are really heavy, really irregular. You have hot flashes and night sweats. And when I say you literally wake up in a pool of sweat, you wake up in a pool like you are your clothes are drenched. Your bed is drenched. Like it is wet. You have a hot flash and then immediately you have a cold flash. So all night long,
I'll be annoyed right there.
It is super annoying. But
get it together.
Shout out to whoever made the remote control fan, because I can now turn the fan on and off in the middle of the night without having to be like covers on, covers off, covers on, covers off. I also learned what triggers my hot flashes. So I can't have dairy. I can't have bread. Otherwise, I'm going to have like severe hot flashes.
I'm so sorry.
It sucks. So no more cake, no more cheese, no more milk, no more ice cream that's got dairy in it. But anyway.
Now, have you found ice cream without dairy in it?
I have. Ben & Jerry's has a very, you know what? I shouldn't say Ben & Jerry's because y'all ain't paying us, but.
However, Ben & Jerry's.
If you want to send us a check.
If you want to sponsor the podcast, we can have a conversation.
We can have a serious conversation.
We can have a conversation.
But they do have a great vegan-based ice cream line. So I started all of this at 34.
Okay.
Went to the doctor. I said, because this ain't normal. This ain't right.
Something is not right.
Something ain't right. Doctor says, let me check these levels. So she checked my FSH, which is the level that determines how far along you are as far as going into menopause. Mm-hmm. So if your levels are over 100, then you are in that menopause phase.
Okay.
My levels, I think, were like 110. So
Oh.
basically, my doctor was like, "Whoop, you 34 and you going through this? Like, that's problematic." So then she was like, "Let me test your
HSG?
No, AMH. So your AMH is the levels, and sometimes it can be inaccurate, but basically it's the levels that determine how many eggs you have. So for those of you who don't know, when a female is born with the eggs, all the eggs that she's ever going to have for the rest of her life. And so, you know, they start sloughing off as you have cycles, and then, you know, however, you know, the body sloughs off additional eggs. So an AMH normal level, I believe, is a 1.0. And it's in my book if you want to look at that. I was at a 0.03.
Excuse me?
Yeah,
What?
0.03, not 0.3.
And it's supposed to be 1.0.
1.0 or higher to determine that you have enough eggs.
You weren't even half of that?
I wasn't even half of that.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
I was less than half of that. Because, you know, half of that would have been 0.5.
Yeah.
I was 0.03.
So, okay.
Not 0.3, 0.03.
That just makes it worse.
Yes. So, yeah. So, needless to say, I was very disappointed, devastated when I got that news. In fact, my doctor called me personally to tell me my levels, and she was just so beside herself because I have a personal relationship with my doctor. And it hurt. It was hard. I did a lot of crying. But then, you know, I was like, okay, I'm hopeful. I'm going to go get my eggs frozen, whatever eggs I have left frozen. And I went through the process of doing that. It's very expensive. It's not cheap. God came through with some financing. Thank you, Jesus. But even with that, it wasn't cheap. And you have to go through this cycle. Even the doctor was like, I don't know, this is like a long shot. Don't be disappointed.
That's basically what your doctor said?
I mean, in a nutshell, he was like, yo, but he was keeping it real.
Yeah.
So,
like, did he say it in like the doctor kind of way?
Yes.
Because, you know, sometimes your doctors, and you feel like, well, what did you just say?
Right. He said it in a doctor kind of way. He was like, okay, I'm glad you're hopeful or whatever. And I had to give myself injections. So I had to stick myself in the stomach 4 times a day. So fortunately, I was unemployed. So I, at the time, the irony.
Yeah, I remember her unemployed stories, right? She always got something going on.
Something going on. So right now, I'm stuck on fertility, trying to get some babies to come out. So I'm sticking myself with the needle. So the medicine, you have to keep it in a refrigerator. Like it's a whole ordeal. Okay. So imagine doing all this by yourself. Like I'm sticking myself in the stomach, trying to figure this out. And you know, it's like, nope. I get to the last cycle of what I was supposed to do and go to the ultrasound. So you take an ultrasound, and basically they're looking for follicles that hold the eggs. The nurse, the urologist looks at me. Not urologist. That's not the right thing.
No, it's not.
The tech.
The OBGYN?
No, the tech.
The tech? Okay. Wait, how did you get urologist out of
Listen, it's getting late out here in these streets.
It is getting late, and we need some sleep.
And this is like the 4th time we re-recorded this. Yes. God help us, Jesus.
Praise the Lord that it's recording.
Thank you, God.
Correctly.
So the ultrasound tech, I could tell from her face that it wasn't going to be a good result. Mm-hmm. And this was on a Sunday, and I drove to church, still hopeful, still praying, like, I got faith, God. I got faith for the God of the mustard seed. I know you're going to do it for me. I know you're going to do it. They're going to find something. Nurse calls me during service. I missed the first call. Call them back. I go into the office, and she's like, Miss Blanding, we didn't find any follicles, and we're canceling your cycle.
That has to be extremely disappointing.
Very. So I went back into church and bawled my eyes out at the altar. I think my lashes came off. I was crying so bad.
Yeah, I can imagine, because I don't know about me. I would have been like, you know what, I'm going home.
That's it. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to ball up and go home. And my parents are amazing. I love them. And then I spiraled into a season of depression.
That's something that we have in common.
Yeah. Listen.
It happened.
No job, no kids. It was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot. But I came out of it, and you can read more about that in my book.
Yes.
Praise the Lord. And so now, I'm in a place where I had to get to this place. It's been a difficult journey. It's not an overnight thing. And some days I'm triumphant in believing, and then some days
and then other days we're just like, God, what's happening?
What's happening? What are we doing?
I don't understand this.
I do not get it. So yeah, had days and moments of triumph, and then moments of depression again. But now I'm at a place. I'm at peace. I'm like, okay, whatever happens now. I'm not on apps. I'm not putting myself out there that much.
You're not doing that.
Nah, I'm done with the apps. I'm done.
You're over the apps.
I'm so over the apps. Like, oh my gosh, like over it.
Because I imagine the apps can be overwhelming
Listen,
themselves.
they are. And then you talk to one person, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, one guy got offended because I was trying to ask him, what was his ministry like? And he was like, well, I've traveled the world, and you don't want to talk about that? I was like, no, I want to ask you about your ministry. Like,
my bad, sir, for being curious.
Right. What's more important to me is if you know Jesus. Like, I could care less if you travel the world right now. Do you know Jesus? All right. Well, if me asking you if you know Jesus is bothering you, then we don't need to continue this conversation.
Did you continue the conversation?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm locked his little short behind.
Not his little short behind.
He was short.
The funniest thing about you saying that is because you're 5'2".
I'm 5'1".
5'1".
5'1".
That's freaking hilarious. Okay, so you get the call that your IUI is canceled. They couldn't find any follow-up.
IUI. Freezing.
Totally my bad. That they're no longer going to freeze your eggs because you don't have any follicles. So you go through kind of this season of depression, then you come out of it, then you kind of go back in, but then you come out. And so...
And by the way, my current OBGYN says she found a follicle, so there is a follicle.
Oh, there's a reverse going on. Praise Jesus.
I'm telling you. But this follicle has been holding on because the nurse told me...
You say it's been holding on?
No, seriously. Because the nurse told me no follicles. When I went to see the doctor said it was a follicle. So this was 2018.
Oh, this follicle said we in
2019. Yeah. And so now
it's 2023.
It's still
this follicle said we
this
yet
holding
on.
God has ordained.
This follicle said we are yet holding on.
He said,
I'm still here.
Thus saith the Lord. So
the follicle said, I'm still here.
I'm still here. But I have not gone to do any additional treatments. I haven't done any follow-ups for reproduction because I need to do step 1 first. I need to get married.
So when you're dating, like not dating just to be dating all the guys, but when you're dating with intention, is your fertility or your journey, is that a topic of discussion?
It is, because I think it's very important for a man to know, and not, because there's a lot of times where people get married and it's like a surprise. You don't know, right? And I'm like, I need you to know this up front because I want you to make the decision.
Yeah.
Because if you want children, you have to understand that
we're
going to have a journey. We're going to have a process.
Yeah.
And, I've dated a couple guys who were like, no problem. I don't even want no more kids. But then I was like, that's a problem because I want kids. Like, I need you to want more kids.
Right.
Another guy who was like very prayerful, very believed that it was going to happen, would pray over my stomach, which was amazing. But we just couldn't get it together. And then, there's some guys who are like, I'm getting older. So, if it happens, it happens. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. And even are concerned with my health because they're like, you're getting older. So I don't want you to die in childbirth, and
Right.
you know, now I'm stuck with the kid and not you. He was like, you know, they're like, I want you to be my partner. Like, I'm getting married to have a partner, not for you to die if we can prevent it, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, those are the type of things. I have yet to encounter a man who was like, I don't want to date you because you can't have kids.
That's good.
Which is really good.
That's really good.
So,
because I know couples that have divorced.
Yeah.
Because of, you know, fertility challenges. So that's good that even though the guys didn't work out for whatever reason, that your fertility wasn't the reason.
Yeah.
So that's really good, because that would be a whole other thing.
Listen, but it's a scary thing to have to bring up.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
it's like, I really want to be in a relationship. I really want companionship, but I can't lie to this man. Like, I got to be truthful.
Yeah.
Because I could tell a lie, right? I could be
Don't do it. Don't lie.
You're gonna find out today, right?
Did you say you gonna find out today?
Yes, I did. You're gonna find out today. But yeah, I don't want to be that person, and I don't want there to be deception in a relationship. So it's one of the first things that I do mention on a date.
That's fair. That's good. I think that's important, especially for single women, to just be honest with whoever you're with, because at the end of the day, if a baby is what you want, they're gonna have to be, you know, they're gonna have to know like what it's going to take,
right?
Possibly, right?
Be prepared for that, and even be prepared for it financially, because it ain't cheap.
No.
So, you know, you gotta
even if you go the
like,
natural route, the baby ain't cheap. So there's that.
So we gonna spend thousands to have a baby to spend more thousands. Love you, bye.
Pretty much. Because IVF runs about 10 grand. I think IUI runs about 6 or 7.
Freezing your eggs is about 15, depending on, because you gotta pay to freeze them and then pay to store it.
Yeah.
And then you have to pay to retrieve it.
Oh, that's a lot of paying. Okay.
Oh, retrieve and then do the process of embryo, whatever y'all gonna do. Yeah, that's a whole separate cost.
Wait, what?
That's not included.
They can't bundle it together?
It's a separate cost. So you pay to freeze.
Yeah, okay, I got that.
All that. Then you pay to store.
Okay, that makes sense.
And it's up to like 2 years, and then you have an additional cost after 2 years.
Okay.
And then once you retrieve it, then you got to pay for them to actually put the sperm in the egg and do all the other stuff to put it in your womb. Yeah, it's a whole lot of money. And people go through this like 3 or 4 or 5 times.
So y'all, if you have gone through IVF or IUI more than one time, we want to hear from you. Like, I want to interview you because I got questions.
We did. We interviewed Callie. Remember?
Yeah, you're right.
She did 5 times.
Right. That's a lot of money.
And she has a beautiful daughter.
She does.
She does.
Good for her.
7.
Yay, Callie.
I think 7 is 5.
Okay.
4 or 5.
Yeah. And so you've written the book. You told the story.
Yeah, I gave birth.
You gave birth to the book. I'm so proud of you. Hold on, it's a glare on it.
No.
There we go.
There we go. Unmarried Without Children.
Yay!
Woo-hoo. That's me smiling.
So yes. So guys, Unmarried Without Children. It is a good book, and I'm not just saying that because I know Alisha. I actually did read the book. It's a really good book. So if you are single and waiting for your God-given husband, if you are waiting for, you know, your God-given baby, go pick up Unmarried Without Children. I think that it will definitely bless you. Alisha, tell the people how they can get the book.
So you can buy it on Amazon. It's also on Kindle. You can buy it on Barnes & Nobles or on Nook. The ebooks are available on Nook and Kindle, obviously, and then Amazon.com, or you can go to allthingsAlishaJ.com and allthingsAlishaJ.com and click on the link that says after you subscribe to my website, then click on order my book, and I would prefer if y'all do that. So go to allthingsAlishaJ.com, subscribe to my website, and then click on the link that says order my book, Unmarried Without Children.
And definitely subscribe to her site, because I be getting all the emails about the cute clothes. I do got a bone to pick with you though. Like some of the stuff, I be like, I really want that, but then it don't come in my size, and I be mad.
Listen, I be telling y'all, look, if y'all don't get on it and purchase when it comes out,
I'd be so mad.
Don't be mad when it's sold out. Like I keep trying to tell y'all. Y'all get mad at me. Well,
I be
Alisha,
in my
we ain't got no more.
feelings.
I be like, I told you, when it drops, buy it then. Because when it's sold out and I come out with the sale, usually I come out with the sale because I got like 4 or 5 left. Not because I need y'all to buy it. It's because somebody already bought your size.
See, that's what I be talking about, y'all. Alisha be giving my stuff away.
I don't be giving no.
She giving my stuff away.
Listen, y'all better be on top of it.
Yes, but Alisha, thank you so much for telling us your story.
Thank you, Jerry.
Your story
This is cool being
freaking
interviewed
amazing.
on our
I can't wait to see
show.
how God does the rest of your story.
Amen.
Because your story is already freaking hilarious, to say the least.
Literally.
From the kindergarten wedding,
Yes. Oh, and I didn't even
to
tell
being
you
a
about.
playgirl.
I didn't tell you about the peen pic I got.
Wait a minute.
Listen.
Who sent you a pic?
Listen, you be trying to give people a chance. I'm just saying. I was like, okay, I'm in a
I
new
know
season.
these dudes are not out here sending pics
Listen,
like that.
yes.
They still do that?
Yes. So this was when I was doing all the serial dating and, doing the 3 or 4 dates a day. So I was like, okay. So these 2 guys were delivering my dryer to my apartment. Was it my dryer or my washing machine? Washing machine. One of the appliances. I don't remember which one.
Okay.
So he was like, oh, can I get your number? And I was like, sure. Okay. So he gets my number. We're chatting. Like I talked to him about his kids. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe I can come in and help. I'm thinking we're probably not going to date because this is not my type of dude. But we're talking. Never talked about sex. Never talked about sex.
Please tell me this man did not send you a peen pic
Bruh.
and y'all never even talked about sex.
Wait a minute. It gets better. So I'm at work the next day. And so when Google Voice first came out, you couldn't open, like, you couldn't get photos in the Google Voice message. Like, you had to go to your email.
Your email, right? Yeah.
So he sends me a message, and he's like, hey, did you get the picture? I was like, what picture? And so I was like, hold on, let me go to my email. So I was like, oh, because I couldn't see the full picture, right? So I was like, oh, like it looked like he got like a burn on his arm. Because I'm like, he works in maintenance. So I'm like, maybe he got burnt on his arm. Girl, I opened up the picture. I'm like, what is this? So I texted him so fast. I was like, bruh, we never talked about sex. Why would you even send me that? He was like, we're 2 consenting adults. I was like, I didn't ask you for this. He was like, well, I didn't think it was a big deal. I was like, bye.
Sir, I don't know you. I do not want your peen.
Do not.
In my email
Not
inbox.
at all.
Ew.
And then I'm opening it up at work. I'm like, I'm glad nobody else was in my office. Like, bruh. You see my face? Oh, I was 100 hot.
I would have been so
mad.
pissed. I would have been mad.
I was so mad. So mad.
Like the audacity.
Was
he from Atlanta?
I don't know where he was from. I don't remember. I don't even remember his name. I just remember.
Does that sound like something an Atlanta dude would do?
Listen.
But the hood Atlanta dude, not the buckhead Atlanta dude.
I'm
but
like,
yeah,
I did not ask for this
that is
picture.
horrible.
Listen, now he was blessed.
I'm done. Goodbye.
But I didn't ask for it. I did not ask for it.
Besides the point. Totally beside the point.
Y'all, we being real out here on this podcast street.
This is what happens when me and Alisha get in the same room together.
And when we tired, man.
And we're both tired.
Listen.
And we need a nap.
Listen. Let me tell you, Christian girls who are virgins, stay virgins until you
Please
get married.
and thank
Please
you.
do.
Please and thank you.
The struggle is real.
Listen, even though I've been married for the last 11 years and I met my husband in 2006. Child, stay a virgin.
Stay a virgin.
As long as you can.
As long until your married day. Please.
Yes.
Please. We know that your body's going to feel all the things. We're not denying the fact that you're going to feel all the things.
You're
going to feel everything.
You're going to feel everything.
Yo, but
you're
JJ.
Get horny and all that.
Miss Thumper. That's it. We get it.
Did you say Miss Thumper?
I did, because it's the truth. It is the truth. The truth will make you free, right?
Oh, this is the realest podcast we've ever done. Good Lord.
Ever.
But no, seriously, if you are a virgin, stay that way.
Please do.
And I say stay that way because it's God's desire.
It is God's desire. And it
takes so much off the table.
Much.
It does. Because
drama.
When you're not thinking about sex, you can actually think clearly. And that's scientific.
So it's facts.
It's facts.
Because things will cloud your judgment and you will stay in situations longer than you need to. That you're never supposed to be in. Listen, just please. And soul ties are real.
Absolutely.
Just don't. Just don't.
Don't even play yourself like that.
Don't. Because trying to be celibate is definitely more challenging than trying to be a virgin. Trust me, I know. I've been both.
Absolutely. So yeah, y'all. So we are back. Make sure that you look out for our weekly podcast. I'm pretty sure that they're all going to be this crazy.
Yep.
So just buckle up.
That's it.
Just buckle up.
We out here in these podcast streets.
Yes, we are out here in these podcast streets. As y'all can see, we got a whole setup. Yeah. It's the whole thing now. So yeah, make sure that if you aren't, go ahead and subscribe to the Womb Prep YouTube channel so that you can get notified every time we drop a new episode, every time we go live for prayer and worship, and anything else that we got going on. Because Womb Prep always has something going on. That's one thing about Womb Prep. There's always something.
Always.
And so make sure that you like and subscribe to this video so that you can get notified on future videos. Yep. Soft plug, Dear Christian Black Girl is my other podcast with my other two friends, Takesha and Tiffany. If you think me and Alisha are crazy, meet us on Thursday mornings on Clubhouse with Takesha and Tiffany. The three of us together. It's a whole hot mess most of the time. Dear Christian Black Girl is basically our FaceTime calls. And it just ranges. And that's okay.
That's all right.
But yeah, so you can go to linktr.ee/Dear Christian Black Girl if you want to know more about that podcast. But yeah, and follow us on social media at Womb Prep, WOMBPREP. And if you are a woman, married, single, divorced, it doesn't matter. But if you are a woman that is dealing with miscarriage, infertility, or infant loss, make sure that you join our private Facebook group. We've been quiet for the past couple of months because God has just been dealing with me with some stuff. And when God deals with me, I don't have much to say. I just be quiet. But Womb Prep, the group, is where, we vent, we cry, we ask questions. And we pray and we encourage each other and we support each other. So if you need that kind of encouragement and support, make sure that you join our Facebook group so that you can get whatever it is that you need. Alisha, you got anything coming up? You got any announcements? Any emotional outbursts?
Buy my t-shirt. It's on shopalishaj.com. Mind Your Own Uterus.
Mind Your Own Uterus.
If you purchase the book, then you get the Mind Your Own Uterus t-shirt for a significant discount. But it's $20 off of the Mind Your Own Uterus t-shirt.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So
well, all right, y'all. That is it for our comeback episode of Womb Prep. Make sure that you meet us back next week for another episode. All right. Love y'all.
Love
Bye.
You.